Why? Hello there. How you doing? Hi. So, you might have noticed in my channel that I like K-pop quite a bit. This is all my best friend's fault. She's been introducing me to K-pop through the years, but a few months ago, she decided that it was a very, very good idea to introduce me to Ateez. Yeah, because they were coming to this festival, K-pop Lux, and they were performing, so I was like, yeah, no, why not check them out? What's the worst that can happen? So it was a bit of a mistake getting into Ateez, because when I learned about them, they have like a lot of music, okay? They have a lot of music. They have a very extensive discography. With that extensive discography, it comes a very extensive lore. So, if you couldn't tell, I am a very big 21 Pilots stan. I really love 21 Pilots, I really love that Dima storyline, I love all that shit, I love my lore. And if suddenly this thing comes in with a new story, it's in a dystopian world, when the main characters just travel through dimensions to stop an evil government, bruh, sign me up right now, I'm in that shit forever. So, I've spent hours and hours and hours and hours watching music videos, watching YouTube videos, reading recaps, doing this and that just for the lore, and reading theories and all that stuff. And now I come here very my own. When it comes to Halazia, not a single theory has actually fulfilled me. Like, I've read a bunch of theories, and none of them satisfy me. So I've just decided to make my own, as one does. So after hours of overthinking, watching the music video 100 times, and writing a 3,500 word essay on this, I present you my Halazia theory. So sit down, relax, get comfy, and let me tell you about the dystopian pirates and their weird shit with time. Okay, so in order to understand all of this madness and all the things that I'm gonna say, you actually need the storyline, and you need to know what's going on, because if not, you're just gonna be like, what the hell are you talking about? If you really don't know anything about Ateez lore, I would recommend going to check out some videos. I'm gonna link a bunch of in the description and stuff. So if you know nothing, just go there and check that out. But either way, I'm just gonna do a little recap of everything. I'm obviously not gonna get into everything, because if not, this is gonna be 20 hours long. I kid you not, this thing is so extensive. So let's start. So Ateez, it's a group of a bunch of teenagers that they're going through a lot of stuff. They have a bunch of circumstances in their life, each of them, and they come together as this group to, escape their circumstances and to create music and create their own destiny and hang out and try and be happy. Little side note here. All of these circumstances moments, they piss me off so much. This scale of trauma that they gave to different members, it's not normal. I have this huge fun to pick with this, okay? Because you have normal people like Songha and Wooyoung, that Songhwa's whole thing is that he sees a girl dancing and he gets so inspired by the freedom. He decides to be free and do whatever he wants and change his destiny. That's his whole thing, okay? He's searching for that girl to give her back a bracelet that she dropped when she fucking disappeared. That's his whole thing, okay? That's it. Then you have Wooyoung, whose whole thing is that he has stage fright and he overcomes it with the members, which is, okay, yeah, stage fright sucks, but it's fine, regular stuff. You have Sun, that has to move a lot, so he doesn't have no friends, and it's really sad and that is upsetting, okay, but it's a regular thing. You have Jongho, who was a peak basketball athlete, and that was his dream, but he fucking breaks his leg, so instead of waiting for it to heal and then go back to basketball, he just decides to go dancing instead. He loses a dream, so he gains another one. That's his whole thing. You have Yosangden, that his parents are very, very strict, right? And they won't let him actually make music and dance. They have him be academic and play the fucking violin, and that's about it. Controlling parents, it sucks. But all of these backstories are pretty normal, right? This is normal people things. This happens to a lot of people. It's not that huge, right? Yeah, but then you have the other three members. You have Hongjung, okay? His whole reasoning wanted to like create this group and create Ateez and become like known is because his family fucking abandoned him. All his family dipped. And now he wants to become famous just in case the rest of his family sees something on TV and they all come back together. Like, that is fucked up. Then you have Mingi, who's not only like depressed, he's been depressed his whole life, he lived in poverty, and the moment that he starts being happy with the members, he cannot do it anymore because his grandma is dying from a freak accident. That same freak accident fucking killed Yuna's brother. And Yuna wants to do all that stuff because his brother is dead, and now he wants to like fulfill his brother's dream. Like, what was the reason? What was the point? If you're gonna give them fucked up backstories, you give them all of them fucked up backstories. What the hell? You have like normal people and then that. Like, who decided this? Who decided this? Who went? Yeah, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna give them all pretty nice backstories and then we're gonna bam hit you with the bullshit. Whatever, moving on. So for a while they just decide to make this group, they make music, they're just happy, they have like this found family bonding moment where they're just a great friend group that find comfort in each other and all that stuff. But shit happens and they have to split up. Oh, very sad, but not for long, because Hanjung's double from another dimension essentially kidnaps them and just send them back to like said universe that is like 200 years in the future, and they have like weird technology magic thing, and they just recruit them to defeat an evil government that has banned emotions for every single person there. So yeah, that's what they do for the rest of the story. Anyways, long story short, Halazia, which is like the people from the other dimension, they can travel through dimensions and they can send like messages through dreams with this weird ancient relic that looks like an hourglass that it's called the chromer. The chromer changes like powers with the moon phases and stuff. But anyways, like they just do a bunch of stuff, shit happens, and right now they are in the midst of freeing people from the said dimension with like Halazia and all that, and they are trying to like give them their emotions back and fight against this evil ass government. And it's not going terrible for now. Halazia were like stealing the chili peppers. They steal that because that is important, and they just fuck shit up with the government for a bit, while Ateez are infiltrated in the Prestige Academy, which is like the biggest, better academy in the country thing that they're living. And now they're there to like free the rest of the people, because they essentially attack the school and they like with smoke bombs and stuff, they free the people with this like technology thingies. And Songha actually finds the girl that gave him the bracelet, but it's this dimension's girl, and she's the head of the Thunder Patrol people. It's essentially like a student council, but they're just there to like rat out every single person that has emotions, you know. But it seems like the girl is actually free from the control at some point. So when Songha goes into the smoke, searching and like trying to help people, he sees her and she tells him to follow her, and then he follows her through the smoke, and that is where the actual like comeback ends. Songha following the girl whilst the rest of Ateez are trying to evacuate the people that they just saved, and that is like where the lore ends. So yeah, that was like a little quick recap of the plot. And you might have noticed that I have not mentioned Halazia at any given moment, so how does this thing fit in? Well, I'm so glad you asked, because right now let me introduce you to the amazing world of Halazia and its entire storyline, allegedly. Okay, so the first thing we need to tackle when talking about Halazia, it's when and where does it happen. We can gather from the prologue and the actual music video and the lyrics of the song that they are under that same dystopian regime where the emotions are outlawed, and the whole city actually like looks in shambles and it's like completely destroyed. So we can safely assume that it either just had a revolution or it's in the midst of a revolution, or you know, a revolution has gone on, or it's going on currently right now. So some people theorize that it's like the same set dimension that we have been watching all along, but just at the end of that same failed revolution, but I do disagree. I believe that this is a whole new different dimension. Let's call it H because Halazia, and it's gonna be just easier to like move around. Where do I base this claim? Well, there's a bit of like different evidence. So for example, in this music video, it seems like the leader of Ateez is not Hanjung, but it's Yuno. He's like at least the prominent face of the group. In like towards the public, or in the music video, he's in the center. He has like a central position rather than Hanjung. And it seems like Hanjung is like his right-hand man. We also know that it's not the same Yosang that in the other two dimensions, because you can actually see his beauty mark that he has, because he didn't cover it for Halazia. And when asked about it, he said that he's only gonna be using it for like Halazia in that world, because it's like to distinguish that one, so it is a different Yosang. We also have this quote from the prologue, a new 8 appears, which, you know, can entitle that this is a new whole group of Ateez. This is a group from a different dimension. And last but not least, in an interview where Hanjung was explaining some stuff from the lore, he actually like talks about it a little bit, and his words led me to believe that it might not be like the said dimension, it's a different one, that it's linked to the other two.
이번 앨범을 이해하기 위해서는 굉장히 좋은 질문인데, 스피노프는 이번 지금까지 진행되어오던 세계관과 같은 세계관이지만 다른 시점의 별개의 스토리라고 보는 게 좋을 것 같아.
Now, we can see that Halazia had been in this universe at some point, because, you know, you can see like all their attire in their scarecrow, and in the music video, Woo Young is holding the fedoras that they use. But if it's a new dimension, what were they doing there? So, well, I really always thought that it was a bit strange that they managed on their first try to get to the specific dimension that they needed with the Ateez that they needed to help their own dimension, you know. That it's a lot of luck to land on a far enough dimension that your own circumstances don't like mess with said dimension's canon, and that you can manage to, you know, find a group of Ateez that are willing to get isekai'd to a different dimension to help defeat like an evil government, you know, like it's kind of strange that they managed to do that just first try, spot on. Like, that's too much of beginner's luck right there. Unless that wasn't the first time that they decided to change universes, because Hala Hongjung actually like knew perfectly what he was doing when he left the chromer down there. You actually need practice to know how that works. It cannot work perfectly on the first try. I really think that they tried this before, and one of these times landed them in Halazia. Okay, so now that we have the location, we can now focus on when does Halazia take place. As we have seen before, this world is an absolute shambles, and it's easy to assume that they are like in the middle of a revolution to have their emotions back, and, you know, to fight against this like terrible government that has been oppressing them for years. But if you actually take like a closer look to the music video, and you like take like all the lyrics in consideration and all the like symbolism in consideration, it feels like they are not fighting to gain their emotions back, they're fighting to keep their emotions. This is a dimension where they have started to try to take them away, and the people are rebelling against it. It's the start of a revolution where people are fighting against this government that is trying to keep their emotions, and it honestly doesn't seem like it's going great, because if we look at the first verse, oh no, everything has become barren. Not only the landscape is changing because they are like in the midst of a war, so everything is just pretty screwed up, pretty terrible. It also can be applied to their like inside emotions, where everything like has started changing and you cannot like feel anymore, and now everything feels like barren and devoid of life. We all try, but we lose emotions, getting used to the feeling of losing. They just started to lose like their emotions, and they're trying to like get used to this feeling of loss and to navigate the lack of like integrity and, you know, what essentially makes you human. Getting paralyzed and shackled freedom, they feel like they cannot do anything about it. They feel like they're trapped. that they are, even though they are free to continue to their lives, this is not actual freedom. This is like shackled freedom, because they don't, what's the point on living if they don't have emotions anymore, if they cannot like actually be themselves, you know? And like all of this taken into account, this just tells me that this is a revolution pre-regime, and it looks like none of this would have happened if it weren't for the apparition of the Black Pirates. Okay, let's picture this for a moment. Whilst Halazia were messing around with the Cromer, they ended up in H at the beginning of the nightmare, you know? So they probably were there to like find their H counterparts to help them save their own dimension, but what they found was a dimension that it was not yet ruined, that looked like it could be saved from the same fate as theirs. So they decided to stay and try and help them with this whole losing emotions bit, and they accidentally made a cult in the process, because that's what you do, you just make a cult. That's like the normal bits. So why am I saying this? Okay, so as they appear like suddenly and they start to like fight for the people, H started like seeing them as like deities that are there to like save them from this terrible fate and bring the light, you know? Bring the light, oh, Halazia. Obviously, this whole revolution didn't have the best results, because we can see like the Halazia universe absolutely desolated and everything like in ruins and terrible. It says in like the lyrics and in the prologue that the people have lost hope after the disappearance of the Black Pirates. But if instead it seems like Halazia are actually like making progress and helping people, what happened in Halazia that didn't get like the same outcome? What went wrong in Age that they had to actually like leave the dimension? So in From the Witness prologue, in the story that they tell, we can see that everything goes wrong once the world loses gravity. Honestly, that makes a lot of sense, not gonna lie to you. At that moment, it's when people just lose hope and lose emotions, and they just sit there waiting for a savior that it's not gonna come. It seems like Halazia were there before like the whole gravity thing went to shit. So what the hell happened for literal laws of physics to get like destroyed? Like how and why did the natural physics of a universe just stopped working all of a sudden? Was this a secret weapon from the government to like stop the revolution? Maybe, because it seems like the weird floating orbs that HTs are trying to like destroy are the cause of the lack of gravity, because around them there's a lot of like floating bits and pieces. But apart from like the abandoned mouths that the orbs are, the only other place where things are floating around and it feels like there's a lack of gravity, it's in the broken Cromer room. Which brings me to this other possibility where Halazia might have broken the fundamental physics of this whole other universe. Well, now you might be like, Jen, what the hell are you saying? Why are you saying this? What is wrong with you? Okay, let me cook. Okay? We all know that when the Cromer breaks, weird shit happens. Like the last time that it broke, it sent Ateez back in time. When they managed to get to their own universe, they like, instead of coming back to like around the time that it went, it came back like far back, you know? So we know weird stuff happens when the Cromer thingy breaks. And we also know that this thing has like magical powers, and it like does also weird stuff with gravity, because we have seen it done that before in the Diary movie. So it's not that huge of a reach to think that whilst Halazia were like escaping from the government, or they were, you know, doing something, the Cromer ended up broken, and that not only left them like stranded in Age, it also probably got at least one of them captured, hence why the government had all of their like attire on that one scarecrow. Seeing that their only way to get back to their dimension without losing any of them and, you know, continue to fight for their own people was like take H's Cromer and, you know, getting out of there, they abandoned H, who presumed they were all dead and like captured from the government or something like that, because, you know, again, they're scarecrows. I don't think they actually like left them all alone and they just went lmao yeet and just dipped, okay? I think that before leaving they contacted their H counterparts, the ones that we actually like see in the Halazia video, and they told them like, the multiverse is real, we are you from a whole other different dimension, and now we have to dip because we need to go back to our own dimension to fix all the shit. So can you please stay and continue all the things that we have done? Okay, thank you. And they just left. They probably just like asked them to continue their labor, and like they told them how to like break the orbs or something, and they just like dipped back to H. I still don't think that they left them fully alone and just like never like contact them anymore, but we'll get to that in a second. Now let's finally talk about the actual protagonists of this story. Let's talk about the new 8. In this universe, we know that Ateez are once again leading the revolution against the government, and we know that this group, or at least this whole universe, praises a savior that it's called Halazia, that will bring the light and peace back to this universe. But we don't really know how they got to this position of power. As I just said, I think that Halazia actually searched for them to ask them to continue their mission where they left. It could be that they were already working with them prior to them having to leave, but it seems pretty unlikely due to the amount of internal turmoil that they seem to like be facing before stepping into the spotlight. But I think it's safe to assume that they were a group before Ateez found them, because in this universe, it seems that unlike the other two universes, the actual face of the group, at least to the public, seems to be Yuno and not Hongjung. Whenever they have like the public apparitions, it's Yuno, the one who's in the middle, with Hongjung looking like it's his right-hand man. And it also looks like he has like a lot of the importance, because Yuno is the one that is seen in the rumor room with the broken hourglass and all the bits floating around, and that usually like the person that we have seen the most with the hourglass has been Hongjung and Yeosang, because of, you know, all of the whole I have to stay back and save you all, you know. But like, it seems like they were like a group before like Halazia found them. Either way, Halazia just tell them that they are leaving, which it doesn't sit right with them. Understandable, honestly. I mean, if the people that you were counting as like your saviors and the people that were supposed to, you know, bring the light and help you fight against the government, and that are like allegedly the people that started this whole mess in the first place, I would be pretty pissed if they searched for me and they told me, hey, we're literally you from another dimension. Now it's your time to finish all the mess that we started. Okay, now we're leaving. Bye. You know, if they just asked me to like fix all this shit that they have created, I would not be happy either. So they take a while to come to terms with all of this, and they are very, very torn on what to do. Because on one hand, they feel themselves filled with sorrow and with hopelessness, and they are losing their emotions. So when they see the light of Halazia, they start having hope again, like they say in the song. They feel like their despair can end, so they have this decision to make, because they can either choose to continue Halateez's legacy and fight for their people and fight for their emotions and bring the light to their dimension, even though they feel betrayed by their idols and saviors, or they can choose to like sit down and just wait for something else to happen at the possible expense of their own dimension. And we see that they probably like took some time to sit down and just think it through. And I mean, if I was them, I would have also like taken some time to think about this too, because oh my god, finding out that your saviors are not only like living you, but they're also like you from a different dimension that came here to like ask for help but ended up helping instead, that would shock me, man. The existential crisis that I would have after that would not be small, I can assure you. And we kind of know that they're having actually a whole existential crisis themselves, thanks to like Mingi's rap. Who are you? They just made myself in now. Who are you? Who are you? This whole bit, like the who are you, it feels like he's talking to himself, to a reflection, but he also feels like he's talking to a completely different person. He doesn't know who that person is. And then he starts describing all that turmoil of expectations and of wondering what the role could entail for the future of his reality, right? They eventually decide that freedom, it's more important than fear, and they decide to like leave the darkness to take over, and they do it by attempting to restore gravity. Or at least that's what it looks like in the music videos. We don't know if there's like things in between, obviously. They managed to destroy them with the help of all of the people that just followed them. But I do find it a little bit strange that they managed to get like that many people so quickly, you know? Because in the teasers they say like the new 8 made their appearance and then everybody just goes straight to them. And it seems like a bit weird that people, after losing some saviors, decided to put like their fate in the hands of these people as quick as the other ones, you know? So I also don't really know the reasoning for burning like the scarecrow where Halazie's clothes are. It would be like to symbolize something other for the people, maybe to distance themselves from Halazia, or, you know, to stick it up to the government saying that they cannot be scared by their threats and that they will not be silenced. Or maybe it's just because they still have beef with Halazia and they can go like, fuck you, we don't like you very much, you know? Who knows? I don't know. Either way, they just managed to destroy the floating balls, or at least one of them, even though it does look like when Sun destroys the last one, the other ones are not in circulation anymore. So it seems like they have destroyed all of them. But we don't exactly really see if they achieved all of that. All we see is the ball vanishing when it touches Sun. And honestly, I really want to know if it actually like vanishes and it just disappears and like pops like a bubble, or if it's just an euphemism and Sun fucking died, because that's like a whole new problem right there. But anyways, they destroy the balls and that's it. But the music video doesn't really end there, does it? No. Who are the people watching from above? And where does that tiny little bluebird that they are always talking about come into play? Well, let me present you with my final theory, the witness theory. Okay, so now you might be saying, June, what the hell are you talking about? What is wrong with you? What are you saying? But just hear me out, okay? So, this whole comeback, it's called From the Witness, and we still haven't talked about a witness at all. So I think it's time to talk about it. Okay, so remember when I said that I didn't think that Ateez just fully abandoned this world to their fate, right? Well, I think that there's evidence of this in this little blue bird that it's just running around all the time. You know how in said they use these blue orbs to communicate with each other? Sometimes in the music videos they are depicted as like little blue butterflies. What if they found a way to send one of those orbs in the form of a bird in this case through the chromer to monitor on Halazia and to like look after them and look out for them and stuff? Because we all know that they can see like through dreams and through like stuff like that thanks to the chromer, so why not be able to send things through dimensions? I really do feel like this bird is kind of like their little camera in that dimension. Then they're like monitoring it and seeing if they like actually need like a lot of help or if they're like doing fine, you know? Okay, that's also cool and awesome and great, but and those for people that they're just like watching them from above once Sun fucking explodes or something, what's up with that? Okay, so you know Soha's girl, the one was in the Thunder Patrol. Last comeback, we ended up with him following her through the smoke. Little side note here, I really think that the next comeback is gonna pick up there, because you know, the whole follow your destiny moment bit, Alice following the white rabbit through the rabbit hole, Soha being Alice in Wonderland moment, you know, all that stuff. I'm very excited about that. So this new comeback I think is gonna solve some stuff and I am very excited. But whatever. He follows her and through the smoke, and I think that he manages to like save them from the mind control, like save the Thunder patrol group people thingy from the mind control, and they end up recruiting them for their cause. So as the girl is seen as like a symbol of freedom because of like the bracelet and all that stuff, I think they send them in a special mission to monitor on Halazia as the witnesses. They're monitoring them to see if they need some help, or, you know, to remind them that there's still like a lot of things worth fighting for and what they are fighting for and stuff. Hence H's Songha finding the bracelet after those 4 people just randomly disappear, and, you know, Songha following that one girl, because he's always following girls for some fucking reason. I just whatever. Obviously we don't really know like the time frame of any of these events, because we also know that like time works a bit weird with the chromer and stuff, because time travel is strange and weird, and through dimensions also, I guess time doesn't work the same, so we don't really know for sure if things like this can align or not, but, you know, that's there. And, you know, that's basically my witness theory, is that those people were there monitoring and controlling, like, to see how much progress is Halazia doing, maybe to see if some of the tactics that they are using there can be used in set 2, or just simply because, you know, they just want to help them and stuff, and they are witnessing their looking without necessarily interfering, so they can learn and, you know, again, monitor and stuff. So that was my theory. Okay, conclusion time. Because now, all of this said, there's a lot of things that are still like not an answer. Like, what are those gravity orbs, globes, thingies? Why does Songha glitch there for a while? Like, what's up with that? I would like to know why he just randomly goes. Is it because of like the gravity thing? Is it like weird powers that they have? Because Youngho also has like some weird stuff like with the eyes, and coincidentally those 2 are the ones who are more seen with, like, you know, a bunch of cultists, a bunch of like people with like the cloaks and stuff, so that might be like related. That also said, why are Youngho and why are Songha always surrounded by that? Especially Youngho, why is he with all of those people with the flag? Is he the one that is actually like recruiting people, or was he just part of this before going through the other whole revolution? Like, what was up with that? I would like to know. Why is Yuno seemingly like the head of Ateez instead of like Hongjong, like the rest of the places? Is this actually like a different dimension, or is it maybe set in the past where Halazia tried to go back in time and fix the problem, but then ended up generating new ones and creating like more alternate dimensions or something like that? Or maybe this might be future in Zed, where Ateez are captured and killed by the government, and Ateez are forced to like step into the spotlight to fix and like help these people, even though it kind of looks like by doing this they are dooming themselves to be here forever and never going back to their own like universe because of like the chromer broken bits or whatever. Who knows? I don't know. Does any of this whole theory make sense? Probably not. I have been working on this for ages. My brain is mush. I can hear colors. This doesn't make any sense at this point. Watch me be wrong and completely proven wrong in like 2 comebacks. It's fine, it's great. I'm just doing this for funsies. I really don't know if this is like, if this makes any sense or not. Tell me in the comments if you think that this, oh yeah, this actually makes sense, or oh my god, what the hell did you have for you to produce 3,690 words of whatever this bullshit was. Yeah. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. It's for funsies. Don't get mad at me if you don't agree. Be civil in the comments, please don't come at me. I'm just doing this for fun. It was just some random theories that my brain decided to produce. Maybe in like 2 months I'll make another video with the other theories that I have from this thing, because you know I have a bunch of theories. This is not just the one, it's just one that I found interesting and I wanted to like expand upon. That was what my brain wanted to do at that moment. Okay, it is how it is. Guess we'll just have to wait for next comebacks to see what's going on with this. I am very excited, specifically for the next one, because, you know, it's gonna revolve around, I think, might be revolving around the girl and all that stuff, so I am pretty excited. Anyways, so this was all from me. Do you agree with my theory? Do you think that I am utterly insane and don't know what I'm talking about? Do you somewhat agree but somewhat not? What are your thoughts on this? What are your own theories on this song and this, like, chapter of the story? I genuinely cannot wait to be proven wrong in like 3 comebacks. That's gonna be fun and interesting. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like subscribe, hit the notifications and all that stuff. We have fun here. I do weird stuff and random bits all the time, so feel free to stick around. If you enjoyed it, just please give it a thumbs up. Again, comment whatever you want, and I'll see you next time. I'm gonna go finish editing this and just scream for a few moments, I guess. Bye!